Assalamu alaikum. Now I would like to discuss about absolute risk percentage. In ARP, in absolute risk percentage, how we can calculate absolute risk percentage can be calculated like 100 into risk exposed minus risk unexposed divided by risk in exposed. So 100 into risk exposed minus risk unexposed divided by risk inexposed. Okay, and another way, 100 into relative risk minus 1 divided by relative risk. In here the relative risk is 5 minus 1 divided by 5, so 4 by 5 into 100, so 5 20, so looks like 80. So this is how we can calculate absolute risk percentage. Absolute risk percentage. So absolute risk exposed, we have a calculate. They actually want in this question, according to study, what percentage of this commercial carcinoma of the esophagus in smoker can attribute it to smoking. So they are talking about the exposed group. So 100 relative risk minus 1 divided by relative risk, so that is 80%. Okay, if we look at another question, look at this question. In here they are talking about, based on these result, approximate percentage, approximate percentage of maternal death, approximate percentage of the maternal death in breastfeeding group that can be attributed to breastfeeding. So approximate percentage of the maternal group in breastfeeding group that can be attributed to the breastfeeding. So in here risk exposed is 11.2, that is 0.112 minus 3.5%, 0.035. Okay, 0.0112 minus this risk exposed minus risk unexposed divided by risk divided by 0.112. If we calculate this, like calculate this 0.112 minus 0.035, okay, divided by 0.1126 into 100, so 68.75%. And alternatively, these attributive risk percentage can be calculated by relative risk, uh, relative risk, relative risk, like attributed risk percentage, relative risk minus 1 divided by relative risk into 100. So relative risk is risk exposed minus risk unexposed, 0.1 to 0.035 equal to 3.2. So this is the relative risk. 3.2 is actually the relative risk. So relative 3 point, we can calculate attributed risk percentage by this way, like relative risk minus 1 divided by relative risk. And another thing, number needed to harm. Number needed to harm, another important topic. Number needed to harm is the number of the people must be exposed in the treatment and can cause harm to a one person. So 1 divided by risk increase absolute risk increase 1 divided by absolute risk increase. So 0.112 minus 0.035 and 0.007, it is the absolute risk increase 1 divided by 0.007 equal to 12.9 equal 13 percentage. 13 no 13 is number needed to harm. It is the number needed to harm. Okay, look at this question now. In here, number needed to harm of zirasumab containing regimen, number needed to harm. So in here, number needed to harm, risk exposed minus risk unexposed. Risk exposed is death at age year 1 year. 60 divided by 100 minus 69 divided by 120. So number needed to harm is 1 divided by absolute risk increase. Adverse event in experimental group, this is the experimental group, 60 by 100.60, and this is the control group, 69 divided by 120. Absolute risk increases 0.60 divide minus 0.57 0.025. It is absolute risk increase, and number needed to harm is equal to 1 divided by 0.025 equal to 40%. So 40 patients need to be treated with a zirconium containing regimen for a one additional person to experience adverse event like death in a year. So experience to adverse event like death a year. So 40 patients need to be treated, and there is an alternate solution which is very tough for me. So that is all about uh, attributable risk percentage and number needed to treat. Hope you enjoyed.